Now that they've done X-Men Days of Future Past, they should somehow find a way to do the Phoenix Saga in a movie, because we haven't actually seen it on the big screen. Shut up! We haven't! We have not! X-Men Days of Future Past. So X-Men Days of Future Past is the newest X-Men movie directed by Bryan Singer, who directed X-Men and X2 X-Men United. I feel like it's the return of the king if he pulls off Days of Future Past well. If the movie's good, if not, we'll be like, all right, that's the guy who directed Superman Returns. And I gotta say, this movie has been getting really good reviews, so I was going into it going, all right, maybe it's good. The movie, to me, was a bit disappointing for one very huge reason. It's because from now until the end of my life, I have to go through life knowing, not theorizing, but knowing that X-Men 3 would have been awesome if Bryan Singer had done it. Holy shit, Days of Future Past is badass. Guys, Bryan Singer still makes good X-Men movies. In Days of Future Past, it starts out in the future, and the future looks really grim. It's shitty. It's like Terminator, but Sentinels are running the place. The only way out of this is to send Wolverine's consciousness back in time to 1973, I believe it is, to his younger body, to get Charles Xavier and Magneto together so they can somehow stop this shitty future that they know from ever happening. Not only is it pulled off well, but James McAvoy as Charles Xavier is awesome. One of the things I loved about X-Men First Class is that they humanized Charles Xavier. Charles Xavier, as we always knew him, was this mentor figure, you know? He had the answers to everything. He was really wise, and somehow you're like, I can't relate to you, but I look up to you. In X-Men First Class, they humanized him and made him a character you can relate to more. This one, they humanize him even more because he is at his lowest low in life. It's kind of like, imagine at the end of Empire Strikes Back, before Return of the Jedi, you know, when they get their plan together and they get Han out and they kind of, you know, start kicking ass again. Was there a moment after Empire where everyone was just depressed, you know, where everyone's like, there's no hope, it's despair everywhere? I don't know, but the fact is Charles Xavier is there in this movie, and I really like that. And I like the Easter eggs in this movie. There are enough Easter eggs in this movie for you to be like, oh, holy shit, oh, holy shit. You know, I like the fact that there's fan service. And the movie is exciting. The action scenes are really exciting. Things happen where you're like, that is the volatile situation I'm looking for. Good job. There was a point in the movie where I was like, not a lot of action's happening, but I'm interested because I'm interested to see Eric Lensher and Charles Xavier not necessarily reconnect, but talk. And then something exciting happened again. I'm like, all right, good timing, people. But more than that, the movie is really, well, it's touching. I'm gonna use this phrase, and you're gonna know that now I've become a really sappy, cheesy person, but I would not use this phrase if I did not fully believe it was the best term to describe the movie. X-Men Days of Future Past is ultimately about hope. Watch the movie, you'll say that too. It's about getting Charles Xavier to hope again. It's about hoping for the future. Does Magneto have hope? Is he gonna change the error of his ways? Is everything gonna work out? You feel the despair. You understand. You're like, you know, Xavier, I get it. I feel like if anyone's gonna bitch about the movie, it's gonna be the fact that Bishop's in the movie, kind of. He doesn't do much. He's in the movie for the sake of, if he wasn't in a Days of Future Past movie, that would be weird. So they put him in this movie, but he really doesn't do much. I know a lot of people are like, all right, we've seen Wolverine as the main character in all these X-Men movies, give someone else a shot. I know what you're saying, but you can't deny the dude's good at it. I mean, if he sucked at it, that'd be one thing, but Hugh Jackman kills it in these movies. Peter Dinklage as Trask, you know, the guy who creates the Sentinels, he's ultimately the Tony Stark of the 70s. So I guess he'd be Howard Stark. He was awesome in the movie too. He's not like a main character, but he's a very important character. It's one of those things where I give Peter Dinklage so much credit. Trask is not a dwarf. He's not in the comic books, but Peter Dinklage plays him in this movie. You just feel like Peter Dinklage does such a good job at acting that they were like, I don't care the size of the guy. He's the best guy for the role. You watch the movie and you can't argue it. You're like, yeah, who else would, yeah, Peter Dinklage. I feel like that breaks so much ground. It's like size or not. It's about acting ability, and I love that shit. This was a big project to take on, honestly. A lot of directors probably were approached with this and they were like, I don't even know how to begin. But Bryan Singer did a great job doing it. He shows that he does really great X-Men movies. From the start, the beginning credits, it starts doing that theme. It's all dun da 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 dun da 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 da. I can't sing for shit, but I was like, that's the X2 X-Men United theme. Oh my God, it was just cool to hear again. It was like Bryan Singer going, out of the way, bitches. This is my franchise. Not only does he say that from the beginning credits, but he professes it and proves it throughout the movie. There is a post-credit scene in this movie that personally got me really jacked up. It's my favorite since Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D., came out and talked to Iron Man. X-Men Days of Future Past was everything I wanted X-Men Days of Future Past to be. I was entertained, I was excited, I was pleased, I was touched. A couple times I was like, I'm straight up tearing up. because this is good. You know I love me the superhero movies, but only if they're good superhero movies. X-Men Days of Future Past is not a good superhero movie. X-Men Days of Future Past is awesome-tacular. I don't know how Kitty Pryde can send people back through time though. Walk through walls, send people through time. You know, they're kind of synonymous. Who knows, but the movie was still good. So, X-Men Days of Future Past, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.